Okay, so good evening, everyone. Today we are going to learn about the basic principles of ultrasound. I'll be explaining how the ultrasound image is formed and what are the basic concept and what are the basic terms that we are using in ultrasound. Okay, so we often come across a common question that is asked by the patients, by the even by the medicos, by the non-medicos, that whether ultrasound is harmful for the child, for the adult, or it is emitting any harmful radiations or not. So the answer is no, it is not emitting any harmful radiations. Why? Because it is using sound energy. So sound energy, which is above the audible range. That is why we don't hear those sounds. So, what is the our audible range? That is below 20 kilohertz, but ultrasound refers to the sound above the audible range, that is above 20 kilohertz, right? So, why do we prefer ultrasound over other modalities? Like, why not CT, why not MRI, or why not X-rays? So, first of all, we have already discussed that it is giving us the radiation protection. Then, the second thing, that is, it is non-invasive. We are not using any contrast agents. We are not using any needles so as to scare the child. Then, secondly, it is providing a high resolution image, right? So, although we are getting a high resolution image from the CT and MRI as well, but the real time imaging that is provided by the ultrasound is unimaginable. So, we are getting the bowel movements, the diaphragm movements, movement of the different structures, movement of even the gallstones are mobile or not. We are getting that information from the ultrasound. So we often come across different probes. So by changing the transducers, they're known as the transducers and the probes. So by changing the transducer, that will change the frequency. Every probe has different frequency, and by using those frequencies, we will analyze that what is the use of that probe. So first of all, the phased array probe. They're used as a high penetration probes, and they're used in the intercostal imaging, in cardiac imaging, and then the linear probes, which are used for the superficial scanning, about the bowel scanning, about the for the scanning of the thyroid, the superficial structures, breast ultrasounds. So then the curvilinear probe, which is the most usable probe in ultrasound. So that is used for the abdominal scans, basically for the pelvis, for the abdomens. And then the endocavitatory probe, which is very rarely used in children, but it's actually a transvaginal probe, which is not used transvaginally in children, but it can be used as for the cranial ultrasounds in neonates, and also for the transperineal scans in females, right? So, studying about what the transducer is composed of. So, first of all, the first layer is the matching layer. So, that is the foremost layer of the probe of the ultrasound. So, it has a property of minimizing the acoustic impedance. So, this layer in the front, the gray layer, is the matching layer. So, that provides an interface between the transducer and the tissue, right? So, we do not want the sound to be reflected before it enters the human body. So that is the use of matching layer. So the thickness of the matching layer is equal to 1/4 of the wavelength. So that is why it is called as quarter wave matching. Then the next layer is the piezoelectric element. So it is the active element of the transducer, the piezoelectric crystals, which is composed of the ceramic material, that is the lead zirconate titanate. So the purpose of piezoelectric crystal is to convert the electrical energy into sound energy, right? And this every probe having the different frequency. So how is that possible? That is possible because the piezoelectric crystals are of specific size and thickness in each probe. So that is providing a desired frequency to that probe. Then the next layer is the backing material, which is providing the alternating current, which sits on the back of the transducer. And this is composed of the epoxy resin, which is loaded with the tungsten, and that provide the dampening effect to the piezoelectric element, so that it is easier for the piezoelectric element to convert the electrical energy into sound energy. Then comes the housing. So all these components, they are housed, they are composed inside the plastic material, which is the housing, which is tapered in a form that it can be easily maneuvered, so that the user can easily hold the probe properly. And then the cable and the connector. So that is the most important thing, because that is connecting the electrical source, the external source, to the transducer. So by which the transmitter is activated, by which is activating the transducer. So that is a secure, there's a secure connection between the transducer and the ultrasound machine, which is provided by the cable. So coming to the piezoelectric effect, so piezoelectric effect is all based on piezoelectric crystals. It is actually, if we look in the simple language, piezoelectric effect is the vibration of the piezoelectric crystals. So the piezoelectric crystals, when they get activated, they emit the sound waves, and these sound waves hit the organ, which is reflected back by the organ into the ultrasound waves are back headed back into the ultrasound probe, and that creates an image on the screen. So just initiating the process, first of all, a high amplitude voltage pulse is applied. That is by the external source, which is taken into the cable, and which is a secure connection between the transducer and the ultrasound machine. And then the transmitter activate the transducer. So when the transducer is activated, these piezoelectric elements, they vibrate when the alternating current is applied, and that generates the sound wave. So sound energy is a form of mechanical energy, and it travels through the body in the form of a wave with alternating compression and rarefactions in the conducting medium. So before we initiate into the basic concept about the impedance, about the reflection, refractions, we should know what the wavelength and frequency means. So wavelength is the length or the distance of a single cycle of a wave, and frequency is the number of sound wave cycles per second, right? So we can memorize this formula, that is frequency is equal to velocity divided by the wavelength, so that we know that frequency is always inversely proportional to the wavelength. So as we decrease the wavelength, we decrease the distance, it will increase the frequency. So shorter the wavelength, higher the frequency, and longer the wavelength, lower the frequency. Now, why do we need to learn about all these things? Because we know that higher frequency probe, they provide better resolution. Now, why do they provide a better resolution? Because higher frequency probe are using a very shorter wavelength. So they are traveling a very less distance, right? But because they're providing a shorter wavelength, their penetration will be less. So higher frequency probe like the linear probes, why they are used only in the superficial scanning, in the thyroid, breast ultrasounds, which are in the superficial, we want to, when we want to see the superficial structures, because they're providing a better resolution, but the penetration will be less. So we do not need those probes when we need to see the deeper structures. Okay, so then coming to the phased array probe, they have a great penetration, but the resolution is not that much. The greatest resolution is in linear probe, but the penetration will be poor. So we need to decide before we are starting the scan that which probe will be best for this ultrasound.